What's going on, guys? Derek Blackman here. How you doing? I wanted to talk about MGK or Machine Gun Kelly versus Slipknot. I saw this last night and I thought this was absolutely ridiculous. If you guys don't know what's happening, I'm going to show Rock Feed their video, their coverage about it, because I'm a big fan of Rock Feed and Brian Storm. I think they do great work. And so we can get caught up to speed, and I just want to give my 2 cents on the whole situation.
Last night, MGK performed at Riot Fest, where he had some not-so-nice things to say about Slipknot. After it appeared their sets would overlap, Slipknot was headlining and closing out the festival weekend, where there were numerous fans seen in the crowd leaving MGK's set to...
Okay, so you hear that. A lot of people were leaving MGK's set to go watch Slipknot. Who would you rather go see? Seriously, think about it for a second. Who would you rather go see? Even if you are a fan of Machine Gun Kelly. Like, are you going to just see some stupid, tall, white guy that's just playing his stupid pink guitar or whatever, play his whatever mediocre songs, if you're like, oh, these are pretty good? Or see this, like, huge spectacle, 9 people on stage just going insane and having the time of their lives and stuff. It's just, even if you're not the biggest fan of Slipknot, it is just a much better show. I've been to a lot of shows through my lifetime, and there are some shows that even if I'm not the biggest fan of the music, for a huge example, the band Every Time I Die, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I don't dislike them, but they put on a damn good show, and sometimes going to watch a really great show is like worth it. It's not like sometimes you're like, oh, like I may like this other act a little bit better. If they're playing simultaneously, sometimes I want to be a little bit more entertained because it's a show.
Go and watch Slipknot. This clearly made MGK uncomfortable, and
like, look at that. Does that look like something? Does that compare to Slipknot at all?
He commented on it to the crowd. MGK took issue with the fact that Slipknot wears masks, which he referred to as weird. He said, quote, "Turn the lights up. Let me see who chose to be here instead of with all the old weird dudes with masks." This
how he's so edgy. MGK is so edgy that these people are wearing masks and they're so weird.
was not the only perceived dig he took at Slipknot. He also said earlier in the set, quote, "Hey, you want to know what I'm really happy that I'm not doing? Being 50 years old wearing a fucking weird mask on a fucking stage. Talking shit."
Someone is clearly jealous, right? It's just what people do, right? You take digs, you try to find whatever you can to say negative about them because you're just butthurt that this band that's been around so much longer is infinitely more popular and successful than he'll ever be. And let's be real. It's probably because MGK, you know, he was kind of comfortable doing his rap thing, even though I've never liked his stuff. I've never been a fan of Machine Gun Kelly. I think the real Machine Gun Kelly through history is infinitely more interesting than this guy. And maybe he's a little butthurt that Eminem pretty much ousted him out of the rap game, and now he had to go to pop. You know, he had to go play his pink guitar and pretend like he's like cool and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, look at how diverse I am. I can cross genres and stuff." And it's like, let's be real, you wouldn't have crossed at all if Eminem didn't spank that ass.
Hey, you want to know what I'm really happy that I'm not doing? Being 50 years old, wearing a
Oh, he already fucked it up, son.
fucking weird mask on a fucking stage, talking shit.
Oh yeah, man. I bet your fucking 12, 13-year-old fans really dig that. You know, I bet they're just like, "Ooh." I mean, I saw one person clapping.
So anyway, what's everyone's favorite candy? Reese's Pieces?
MGK
Oh, very nice recovery, bro.
has certainly had quite a bit of commercial success since he put out his album Tickets to My Downfall. Last year, he created quite a bit of controversy when he complained about the state of rock music, adding this.
Okay, let's see. I haven't seen this at all, so let's see what he has to say. Let's see if he has any good takes on this at all and about the state of rock.
This is very important. The state of rock and roll depends on rock stars. I gotta see some you. I have to see some you in it. I want some attitude, dude. Like, this is what I will tell you.
Okay, man. look. I'll give my take. Let me hear him out. Maybe he's gonna say something else that maybe he'll recover.
Warped Tour, and these would wear comfortable shoes on stage every day. Your fucking Nike New Balance fucking comfy shoes because it makes you feel comfortable. What? Put on some Doc Martens, you put on some Chucks, put on some...
What do you... I feel like... Hold on a second. Hold on. I feel like he's referring to, like, an actor, too. Because anytime I've gone to Warped Tour or something, it would be Chucks. Sometimes it would be no shoes, which I think is fucking grungy as fuck, man. Flip-flops. It would be... It's Warped Tour. It's the fucking summer. What bands are you referring to that you want them to wear Doc Martens and stuff? That's like fucking punk, dude. Like, rock and roll isn't really about wearing fucking boots. It's just about wearing shoes in general. Like, no, what the hell are you talking about? Complaining about... Like, I feel like complaining about people's shoes is like one of the least rock and roll things that you could be fucking doing. Like, you're complaining about the fashion. And I thought it was more going to be about the music, right? Like, because that's what's most importantly, playing rock music. Because I will say, rock is depleted, right? The genre of rock and roll has been depleted. Everybody's kind of going heavier, or they're going way poppier. It's like, I'm going to do pop rap, and pop punk and whatever. I'm not going to play like rock and roll, hard rock. I'm just going to go to metal. Like, all of that middle ground has been disappearing. There's been like Greta Van Fleet and stuff like that. But for the most part, I thought he was going to talk about that and not just, I need attitude and you need to wear boots. Very cool, bro.
Fans.
Ironically, Slipknot is the epitome of everything that MGK was mentioning in that clip that rock and roll needs.
Right? There you go, Brian.
Look at these shoes, hardly offering any lumbar support, assuming they don't have Dr. Scholl's inside of them. These
They probably have Dr. Souls in them, wouldn't you?
do not appear to be comfortable shoes. This is not the first time that MGK has accused a prominent performer of being old and weird. In MGK's diss track.
Oh, yeah. So this is the thing that I heard the diss track. I heard his Rap Devil, and it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a one listen, though. It's like a one-off thing. I've never heard it again. But I remember when I heard it, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I don't think he's like the worst rapper or anything, but he's never been somebody that I would put on my playlist or fucking anything.
Track Rap Devil, which targeted Eminem. He called his beard weird and also called...
Well, that's... Whoa, Nostradamus here. His beard is weird. It's... He dyes his beard, which is fucking cringe, man. Anyone who dyes their facial hair as an old man... It just looks awful. It always looks awful, and it never won't look awful.
Called Eminem old. The feud with Eminem ignited after MGK sent this tweet out about Eminem's daughter, who was 16 at the...
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a little weird, man. You gotta be you gotta be careful with that, especially when she's fucking a minor, dude.
Time, quote, okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say she is hot as fuck. In the most respectful way possible, because M is king. MGK later apologized for the tweet.
What are you gonna apologize for? You already said it, bro.
Following the feud, MGK released his debut pop punk effort, Tickets to My Downfall, which was very successful, landing at #1 on the Billboard 200 charts.
Yeah, I'm sure it was successful. It doesn't mean that it's fucking good, though.
Slipknot's latest effort, We Are Not Your Kind, which released back in 2019, also debuted at #1.
That's obvious. And let's be real. It's actually a really great album. The review that I gave it was fair. But after a couple of years and let it soak in, I'm like, this is actually really good music. It's not as chaotic or as heavy as Iowa or something like that, but it's still really fucking good.
Thus far, Slipknot has not responded to the dig from MGK. We'll let you know if they do.
I wonder if they're going to respond. Who knows? But that's it for the video for the rock feed thing. Let me just give my final thoughts on the situation. So I feel like Machine Gun Kelly is having some sort of crisis. I don't know how old he is, but he looks like he's on the older side. But I think maybe he's having some problems, maybe some issues. I don't know, but it just seems like it because he lashing out at Eminem and stuff like that, which is just the stupidest thing you can do. Like, honestly, truly, obviously, Eminem's gonna come back at you a million times harder, and he did, and that's why I think he's making a pop punk album. He's talking about rock and roll, and he's playing pop punk. Like, all right, dude, like, sit your ass down. He got into some beef with Conor McGregor at the VMAs. Now, the rumor is that Conor wanted to shake his hand or have a picture or something like that, and then MGK like dissed him, and because supposedly, allegedly, that MGK is boys with Dustin Poirier. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but it could be true. And the thing is, like you don't have to be a dickhead all the time, man. If you truly don't like Conor McGregor, you can just decline. You don't have to diss him. They're saying, oh, he pushed his drink or he pushed Conor or something like that. If that's the case, I mean, it's just showing like this dude, there's something going on with him. He just can't let anything go. He's acting like a fucking 12-year-old. He's on stage right here and he's all butthurt that people are leaving his performance, where I'm like, dude, your music, you know it isn't that good. You didn't fucking write your music. You're not like you're just you're whatever. You're a whatever artist. Like, you have a lot of resources. People can back you up and prop you up and stuff like that. But if you had an organic album, you wrote it from scratch and you put a band together and then you try to put it on the charts, it wouldn't go anywhere, right? If your name wasn't Machine Gun Kelly attached to it and all that shit, you know, it wouldn't go anywhere. Like, you need to check your fucking ego at the door and be humble, man. One of the most, like, respected metal bands in the world, Slipknot, that started from absolute nothing and have clawed their way out of Iowa to be just an amazing act. Still in their 40s and still killing it to this day. Like, how could you fucking diss on something like that? Eminem, Slipknot, like legends. Like, what a fucking idiot. What an idiot. What a retard. Are you guys even a fan of MGK at all? I imagine probably 90% of you guys aren't, but there might be a small percentage of you that say, oh, actually, I like some of his stuff here and there and there. And if you do like some of his catalog, why not share some of it with me and maybe I'll give it a try, because to be honest, I've only heard a handful of anything he's ever done. And I'm sure he has a backlog of stuff. And I just probably, I'm assuming it's trash, but I could be surprised, or maybe I could have a newfound respect for him. I doubt it, but I'm open. Anyway, you guys take care.